is Carlton Cullins here in South Austin, Texas, and welcome to the Blue Sky Strong Box. Today is video 3 of a series that I'm doing called Foundations. I'm going to be doing this for the next few weeks, but I've already put out 2 videos, so if you haven't seen them yet, go back, find them. I put them out there, find them, watch them. They're free. A lot of good information in it, a lot of important information. In the first video, I wanted you to figure out what your goals are. I wanted you to figure out why they're important to you. I talked about the importance of sleep, sleep being the foundation for everything that you want to do. I promise you. Sleep is the foundation. In the second video, I went over my screening and assessment process. This is basically we're trying to figure out what you may need, what obstacles are going to be in the way of you, where you're at right now, and how we can improve them, eliminate them, so you can work on getting to your goal faster and safer. The third video today, we're trying to figure out what's next. So from the first video, from the last video, we've got some information that we're going to use now. And it's basically going to put you into 3 major categories that I typically use. There is a 4th category, and I'll talk about that in a second, but 3 major categories. You're either going to be in fat loss, you're going to be in the category of general health. You're just trying to improve your general health. You're not trying to lose weight or gain weight. And the last category is you're trying to gain weight. You're trying to gain lean muscle and build up muscle. 3 major categories. The 4th one is really important. It's sports enhancements. You're trying to train for a competition, for a sport, for a job, military, something like that. I'm not going to go into the stuff that would be important for that because that's a lot more information. But if you have any questions on that, write me. I'm always here to help. But today, 3 major categories: fat loss, general health, and lean body mass is what I call trying to put on muscle. So those are the 3 main categories. They have a lot in common with each other. A lot of people actually want to do all 3. And they all 3 have the same ingredients. You're all basically manipulating or working things with your diet and nutrition, your exercise and movement, and your sleep and rest. They all 3 have the same stuff, but they're all going to be prioritized a little bit different depending on what your goal is. So what we found out from the last video, hopefully you did all the stuff. There's a lot of information, and I know it was a long video, but it's important. Trying to figure out what the most limiting factors is. What were the areas in your life right now that are going to get in the way? And we looked at things. We talked about stress in your life. How much, what all do you have going on? Do you have room to work on anything else and actually be good at it and be, successful? Stress, sleep, your diet and nutrition, your mobility, which is what I call your flexibility, your strength level, and your stamina, which is your cardio, your endurance, whatever you want to call it. Those are the main things. I also look at something else. I kind of want to see how much people move or how much people sit down during the day. But I'm looking at all 3 of those. Every area that I just mentioned basically got a score of 1, 2, or 3. If it was really bad, or you had pain with anything, or anything's just really, really bad, you got a 0. 0 is really bad. But you need to be honest with yourself. If there's zeros on there, that's important to know. Everything else got scaled on a 1, 2, or 3. 1 was you're failing. You're not doing good on it. You need to work on this. 2 was you're barely passing. You're scoring a 70. You're getting by, but you will fail in the future if you don't get stuff going. The 3rd, if you scored a 3 on anything, that means you're doing good. You're an A+ on that, and that's not something to worry about right now. We're worried about the 0s and the 1s right now. So if you have any 0s, that's going to be priority first. 0s typically meant you probably had pain with something when we worked on the movement. That means you need to go see a doctor or a qualified health professional. If you have 1s in anything else, which I would suspect most people are going to have. You may have a 1 in stress, 1 in you don't move enough, 1 in your flexibility. The 1s is what we're going to work on. So when it comes to the first category of fat loss, and I do not mean to be mean on this, I just want to state the obvious because it's important. Honesty is important. If you can't be honest with yourself, I can't help you. You can stop the video now. Bye. You've got to go back. Go back to the drawing board and work on getting in touch with honesty. Things that are uncomfortable, things that you do not want to think about, things that hurt. That is how you make your mind stronger. If you don't get your mind stronger with dealing with stuff that you can be honest about, you don't have to let anybody else know. You can work on this stuff alone. Nobody has to know. But if you can't be honest with things and deal with the things that you need to work on, the things that you don't like, you won't make much progress in life. And I want to encourage you. You can do this, but you've got to work here. So getting back, the first major goal, major category, fat loss. I can tell you right now, if you've got quite a bit of weight to lose, then your diet is a 0 or a 1. I can tell you that. It's okay. You need to understand that wherever you're at right now, if you're trying to change something, that means where you're at right now, whatever you've been doing has not worked for you. If you've got fat loss, you got to lose body fat. Whatever you've been doing in the past, don't keep doing that because that's what got you here. Well, if you want to change now, you've got to do something different. You know what I'm saying? I know it seems obvious, but it's super, super important. But also I want to clarify something. A lot of people use the term fat loss, but a lot of people say they just want to lose weight. I'm just trying to lose weight. I know what you mean. I know you know what you mean, but I want to make sure that when personal trainers hear that, it bothers us. We refer to people you're trying to lose fat loss because just losing weight, a lot of people do lose weight and they lose some body fat, but a lot of people, they don't know what they're doing. They're going to lose muscle too. Losing muscle, lean muscle, all muscles lean muscle, by the way. When you lose muscle, you slow your metabolism down, which makes you more susceptible to gaining weight faster in the future. When you lose any muscle, your metabolism slows down. When you lose quite a bit, it slows down quite a bit, and that means almost for certain that you will gain body fat in the future and you will gain it back faster than you did before, and it will be harder to get rid of because you will be older. So you don't want to do that. Fat loss, you want to make sure you're losing fat and not losing any muscle. But I want to clarify one other thing too. A lot of people, like I said, want to improve your health, you want to lose some body fat, you want to gain some muscle too and look better, feel better, be more shapely and more proportioned. But all three of these categories, I'm breaking them into three categories because they are very different. If you're in the fat loss category and you also want to do the other things, fat loss basically means you're going to have to burn more calories than you're using. You're going to have to probably eat less calories. If you're trying to gain muscle and tone up, that typically means you're going to eat more calories than your body is needing right now in order to gain weight, to gain muscle. So trying to lose body fat and gain lean muscle mass, sometimes people can do it a little bit, but I would say it's almost next to impossible. They're basically mutually exclusive. So if you're trying to lose body fat and you want to gain some lean muscle, lose body fat first and then work on gaining muscle. You may actually, if you do things right, the way I'm going to talk about in the next few videos, you may be able to do a little bit of both. But focus on fat loss. I'm telling you these three categories because it's really important. The general health category is you don't want to lose any weight and you don't really want to gain any weight. You just want to feel better and be healthier. Blood work, all that kind of stuff. You just want to be healthier. So these are the three big categories. We're going to go over in the next few videos. I'm going to go over all more of the details and stuff like that. But I can already tell you, if you're fat loss, the nutrition, the thing trainers say is abs are made in the kitchen, butts are made in the gym. So if you want to lose body fat, you want to get your waist smaller, you want to lose stuff that you don't like, it's going to become from what you're eating and how much and when. Those are the three big pillars of nutrition. Those are the big things that we anchor on. What you're eating is really important. How much overall, your day, your week, how much food you're eating in general, and then when you're eating it. If you're eating it right before you get, or you're eating it at weird times, or snacking all the time, timing is important too. So we're going to go over that. But fat loss, and I would even say if you're trying to gain muscle, your diet, your nutrition is going to need to be on point. It's going to need improving. We're going to talk about strategies for that. The next few videos, I'm going to get into the movement part because movement gets a little bit more complicated. I break it down into three major categories when it talks about exercise and movement. One's going to be your flexibility, second's going to be your strength levels, and then third's going to be your cardio, your endurance, your stamina. Those are the three big ones. They all need addressing. You may have a 1 on one area and a 3 on the other. We need to figure out right now, this whole video and the whole last video is trying to figure out what your most limiting factors are. And those are the areas we need to work on first. So I want you to figure out, I want you to put yourself in one of the three categories. I want you to figure out where all your zeros and all your ones are. That's what we're going to take with us for the next video, and we're going to work on a plan for each one of those. If you have any questions, write me. I'm always here to help, and I wish you the best.